Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, Lord of Nothing. As today we, I believe, officially enter the endgame for Grimm and company. We're pretty much done here in the jungle, so not to do but head on back, and from what I understand, we have just one more trek ahead of us. Which does have me wondering how things will end for our scrappy band of side characters. Hoping for the best, but, Farnhold's Lot did not set a good precedent. Another shard for our trouble. Record frowns. It feels like the curse of the abyss is closing in around us. Don't fret about that, friend. They can't hurt us now. We've become far too powerful. What's power to a fool? Record spits and turns away. So how do you think the villagers will fare? We kind of let them walk out right into the middle of demon-infested territory. Not, I suppose, that we really had any other options. They're tough. Now that Karok's gone, they should be able to break out of this place. Oh, interesting. Why would they list that as reactive text? What other... Oh, of course, right. If we had killed Akshan and taken the shard, we probably could have left without ever freeing them. Yeah, that probably wouldn't have gone great for them either. They are still in the middle of the world wound, amid monsters and wastelands. However, I agree that their chances are above average. I left my maps and a compass with them. This should raise their chances of survival by 5 to 10%. Hey, good looking out. Excellent thinking, Penta. That never even occurred to me. I'm glad you're here. Yes. You are definitely lucky to have me. So, first a hill giant, then a goblin, now a dragon. Who knows what the next shard will bring? This dragon was indeed an extraordinary individual. The nature of red dragons inclines them toward evil, and very few manage to resist it. A red dragon sacrificing themselves for the sake of humans must be one of the rarest cases in draconology. Perhaps even unique. Yeah, and the shard should also be inclining its bearer toward evil, shouldn't it? Wonder how the dragon managed to swim against two currents at once. I might have an idea. Sendri puts his palm against his eye. The shard is a very unnatural thing. It makes one go all topsy-turvy. Maybe it was pulling the dragon toward evil, but not the kind his dragon nature would embrace. Fire and ice, you know? I mean, sure, why not? Doesn't really matter at this point. Fair enough. We know how the shards affect humans, but dragons are not humans. They're strange, magical creatures. It could be that even Sithad himself didn't know what would happen if a shard ended up with one. That may be true. Two evil forces were fighting inside it, each the opposite of the other. And while they were fighting, the dragon could look around with its own eyes and make a choice. And against all odds, he chose love. You guys are killing me. Sorry, I guess I just have a heart of stone. So what about those Fae? Felt kind of random, right? Well, that's the Fae. No one understands them, really. Sentry smiles and shrugs. No one ever expects them, and lo and behold. Some things we can understand. Long before the world wound, Sarkaris was known to be a place where the veil between the worlds was especially thin. This is true not only for the Abyss, but also for the First World. These Fae were unfortunate enough to be here when Karok, sealed this forest off. Sure, fair enough. I've got to say, though, these stones certainly seem to take us some pretty wild places. Come on, let's see where we're headed next. And there it be, what I think is our final portal. Let's get a quick peek. The Shadow World, sure. Why not? We might as well end up banished to the Shadow Realm. But first, one last night in relative comfort. Let's head back to the tavern. We have to swap out our party, do some last-minute prep, and then to those who are about to die, etc., etc. I'll check that out off screen. If it's something worth noting, I'll highlight it once we're back. Oh, hey, Angel Dude. Stalmer? How you doing? I see you have brought another shard. Wonderful. Our mission is almost complete. Only one remains. Okay, well, yeah, that pretty much clinches it. So this is indeed our final ride. Though we do still have a shard in Stalmer, which we now have the option to take. I mean, obviously we're not going to do it, but yeah, I forgot he had one. Interesting. I mean, I'm sure that has to play into things long term. It's just like Stalmer he's so minimally involved in the adventure that I just keep forgetting he's even around. Although we do now have the option to kill him, so I guess that's something. Balin? Alright, let me do a quick roundabout here just to see if there's anything new. Though I do suspect there will not be. The first time we had our bard friend, the second time the town bureaucrat. But that would imply the third time would be the miller who turned out to be a thief, who we did not end up. I mean, technically he survived, but he ran away after we tried to turn him over to that inquisitor. So I can't really see him turning up to help us now. Have you heard? We're marching on Is now. Ooh, timeline's bumped up again. I think it's actually right alongside where we left off with Vex now. With Vex MIA after his essential exile into the Abyss. And Queen Galfrey taking over the forces in Dresden. Yeah, and I'm not seeing our other guy, so I don't think he's turning up. Which, you know, fair enough. Let's get a better idea of where we are story-wise. They're marching on Is. What a joke. They say the commander ran away. Everyone will die. Right, okay, yeah. Yes, that is after Vex, the Knight Commander, mysteriously vanished following the assault on the secret demon base under Dresden, when in truth he was sent to assault the Abyss itself along with his companions by Queen Galfrey, who would not take no for an answer. And then it sounds like assumed control of the army herself and immediately started an ill-advised march on Is. It's fine. Vex will get it sorted. We'll leave that to the Knight Commander. We've got our own problems to deal with. Alright, give me a sec to prep us for our final run. Be right back. And we're back. And yeah, nothing notable in that loot stash. But we did, however, slot in our new gear, the prizes of our last perilous adventure, which, let's be honest, mostly went to Kano, so good thing he's tagging along this time. And then we had 30,000 gold, which went partially towards upgrading Sir Brown's arsenal, but mostly towards this. The Goggles of Pure Sight. A meager +1 bonus on spell pen checks, but much more notably, once per day, essential auto success on a greater dispel, which, given that it does sound like this is the final leg of our adventure, seems like it'll probably come in handy. That said, it's all still essentially just guesswork. I haven't actually played this, so I'm not really sure what we're in for, but I guess we'll find out. And right off the bat, some real Hellraiser vibes. Okay. Some sort of bleak, snowy wasteland. No intro, no arrival banter. Can we get a light spell going? Because I am already having kind of a hard time seeing things here. Hey, there we go. That's like 20% better. Phew, but it's dreary out here. We just arrived, and I already want to get out of here. Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. Not liking this. Ooh, okay. We've got an Iron Maiden and broken cages, plus other general prison implements. Definite sort of bondage theme. Not what I would have expected from a plane of shadows, but I guess there are a lot of pretty grim dark. Oop, here we go. The caravan was attacked suddenly, and no one was fortunate enough to escape. Ooh, Shadow Wolf. Fun. And more. Let's go ahead and toss out a distraction. Sorry, Celestial Doggo. I believe in you. Oh. Well. Alright, I guess I'll just start punching. Yeah, I guess we'll be fine.
Don't hold back!
Kind of feel silly for burning the spell slot now. And we're good. Thanks for your help, bud. Really thought they'd go after the easy target first, but I guess we had already aggroed. Interesting, we found a caravan here. No mention of what species or anything, just that whoever was operating it died. That would imply there were local denizens here in the Shadow Plane, perhaps, running their own caravans, or perhaps the caravans from another plane and somehow inadvertently ended up here. I will say, terrain-wise, it actually kind of reminds me of just like the normal... Oh. The bells are ringing! Take cover, quickly! The bells, you say? Okay, you know what? This would give some pretty strong sort of medieval Silent Hill vibes. You know, bells ringing instead of sirens sounding. Mundane terrain, but darker and... Ooh, here we go. Faded page. Give me that sweet, sweet lore. This place is saturated with a darkness that devours all color. While I miss daylight, the inhabitants of the Shadow Plane possess their own beauty. The eyes of the fetchlings shimmer with such amazing hues. Nevertheless, I have decided to be careful and make camp outside this dark keep. I will not disgrace the House of Sinnet. Tomorrow I will venture into the heart of darkness, and fill it with the grace of Shaylin, and do away with the monster that poisons these lands with its tyranny. Oh, weird. A follower of Shaylin, trying to liberate the Shadow Plane of all places? Some real Paladin in Hell sort of vibes there. Can't imagine that went well. But perhaps we'll uncover their fate whilst we're here. The embers from the campfire are still smoldering. The camp's lone occupant left quite recently. Huh. Perhaps we'll find them alive. Really kind of figured it would just be a few journal entries, eventually leading to a corpse. Shadows! The shadows have come! Hide! Oh, I don't want to go there at all. Why couldn't the shard have ended up in a more pleasant place? Because then it wouldn't be an adventure. Come on, let's go throw some shades. Where'd they go? Aha.
You're not a threat. You're an obstacle.
They don't know who they're dealing with.
I'll gut you!
There we go. There's the third one. Yeah, we saw 3 pop up during the cutscene. So, in theory, we should be good. Dark, pulsating clumps emerge from a crack in the ground. They seem to indicate darkness, hiding below. Nope.
We must act.
Guess we had more. Thankfully, they do go down pretty easy. Purple fire.
That didn't go as planned.
The pale tongues of violet flame appear dim. Ah, rolled a 2, for goodness sake. Hopefully that wasn't something important. Same color as the weird glowing cracks we're seeing in this structure. Could be coincidence, could imply something else. I mean, it's magic, so it could be just about anything. We have been hearing an awful lot lately, though, about the barrier between planes growing thin. Could be where our caravan came from, though it could also just as easily be these guys, the fetchlings. And shady merchant, in every sense of the word. Looks like he's got some pretty decent stuff, too. Unfortunately, we literally just spent the bulk of our gold. What in the world is Druchite? The black and violet ore known as Druchite is so dark that creatures can have an extreme difficulty perceiving it. Druchite-veined melee weapons grant their wielder a 10% chance that the enemy will not see the attack coming, as if the attacker were invisible. Huh. I mean, honestly, it sounds kind of underwhelming, but also they went out of their way to make sure that every single weapon was also available in Druchite for some reason. Plus Mithril. Oh, silver too. Which does imply that we've got enemies who might be resistant to damage inflicted by weapons not made of certain materials. Yeah, the armor's all pretty normal in comparison. And then an assortment of other assorted accessories, none of which we can afford right now. Interesting. Interesting. I guess, I mean, really, we should push on a bit farther, see what we encounter, then perhaps come back and invest in something accordingly. Ah, here we go. Potential answers. That Ulob! He scurries around the Lord's dungeons! No doubt the shadows come because of him! Let's just hand him over to the shadows and be done with it! Quiet! Ulob, go see the bell ringer and find out what happened. A thin man with pale skin looks at you indifferently, with yellow eyes devoid of pupils. His words convey no emotions. Wanderers, greetings. I am Armuk, the elder of this village. Who are you? An equally pale man next to him looks at you from under his brows. Why do you spend so much time with all these passers-by, elder? I saw these strangers on the street when the shadows flew in without the bell's warning. These foreigners bring trouble. I'm sure of it. Sindri shivers and speaks quietly so that only you can hear him. Scary folk. Why are they so pale? Like ghosts. So, who are you, and what brought you here? Those present in the chapel look like a hazy, pale reflection of humans. Thin figures, chalk-white skin, and yellow, pupilless eyes that shine bewitchingly. It's as though their fragile silhouettes, real and clear for now, could at any moment dissolve into the gloomy air of this strange world. What exactly are you? I've never seen anyone quite like you before. To us, you are the ones who look unusual, wanderers. Our people call themselves Kayal, and we are native to the Shadow World. Centuries ago, our Aslanti ancestors found shelter from Earthfall in the Shadow World. Here they were changed and became a different people, called Kayal. Those on the material plane usually call us fetchlings, taking us for shifty dealers, thieves, and liars. Well, I mean, to be fair, you do look quite shady. We only just arrived. What's happening here? Why were you attacked? We destroyed the shades attacking you, by the way. You appeared as the shadows of our great lord came for new souls. You were lucky to survive. Anyone taken by the shadows disappears forever into the dark halls of Tag Takar. Normally, the ringing of the bell warns us of the shadow's arrival, but this time the bell rang too late. We were not ready. Why is this, Tag Takar sending shadows to steal people off the streets? Is that just how things work here, or...? Alas, it is not simply people on our streets. Any who do not hide before the arrival of the shadows. They are dead souls, unable to find their way to Pharasma's court. They come here for new servants for the Lord. I see. And what can you tell me about this great lord? He does not rule, he simply is. Tag Takar is a Velstrak, a great servant and regent of the Dark Prince. He is the Lord of Pain and the master of these lands. He is our savior, and shields us from the horror and darkness of the outside world. Every few months, shadows filled with misery and despair take someone away at their master's behest. Sounds horrible. So why don't you leave? You could settle somewhere more peaceful. There is no quieter place in the shadow world. This fortress is our home, and things are much more dangerous beyond its walls. We serve the Lord in our own way, and eagerly fulfill our duty. Velstrak. Can't say I'm familiar with the term. What is that? On Golarion, Velstraks are usually referred to as chitons, awful monsters, barely resembling humans. They feed on the pain and fear of mortals. You are quite knowledgeable about our world for Outlanders. The elder bows his head slightly. You know so much, yet understand so little. To consider these exalted creatures monsters is ignorance, bordering on blasphemy. Velstraks, or chitons, are one of the many inhabitants of the shadow world. Strong and powerful, they are masters of pain and suffering. In exchange for protection, we provide the Velstrak Tag Takar with what he needs. Even some of our lives. It doesn't seem like your people really want to give themselves to Tag Takar. We honor him. We make sacrifices. We thank him for his protection. The elder is clearly not ready to speak more openly, but his voice is tinged with reverence. Your lord sounds quite impressive. I wouldn't mind meeting him myself. I don't suppose you could introduce us? Almost no one manages to return from Tag Takar's domain alive, except Ulab, one of the locals. Talk to him. He's headed to the Bellringer's tower. Okay, I will certainly do that. So is this just how it is in the Shadow Plane? Does everyone here live like this? Everyone lives differently, and we live like this. Master Tag Takar appeared in our village 3 generations ago. Why he chose these lands is unknown to us, but since then the village has been protected from the outside darkness. The disappearance of some residents is an acceptable price to pay for the safety of the rest. Thank you for the information. The elder politely bows to you. Well, you were very forthcoming with us, so I guess it's only right that we are straightforward in turn. We've come here seeking a lost relic, an artifact. It's very powerful and very dangerous. Perhaps you could help us find it? There is nothing of value in our village. All the treasures belong to the lord of these lands, Tag Tekar. Whatever you are looking for, your search will lead you to him. Very well, then I suppose we should tag to carry on. Thank you for your time. Goodbye, wanderers. Yeah, you too. Ooh. Okay, you know what? Yes, okay. A statue of the Dark Prince himself, Zon Kuthon. His visage augurs poorly for the visitors of this grim place. So these fetchlings, the locals, are servants of the Dark Prince. Zon Kuthon, Lord of Torture and Undeath. To be fair, I want to say he's lawful evil, so in theory we can actually trust them if we broker a deal, but we'd want to be careful about, you know, exact phrasing or wording or potential loopholes. Also, I suppose it does help explain why a servant of Shaylin might have come here. Zon Kuthon is Shaylin's Shaylin's estranged sibling. We learned that back in Kingmaker. I think, What's-Her-Face told us that our tanky fighter... Valerie?
Let's not draw any attention.
So I think Tristan. Tristan was also a servant of Shaylin, wasn't he? Man, it's been a while. I wouldn't mind getting back to that one at some point. It's just, you know, Wrath takes precedence. And then Rogue Trader before that. Just the inherent nature, unfortunately, with these forever projects, these 200-plus episode CRPGs. Baldur's Gate 3, that's another one I'd love to get back to at some point. But also a slightly lower priority. We'll get there.
Let's not draw any attention to ourselves.
One story at a time. Grim here just happened to have one of the more easily finished ones, hence why we're here. Closing out his adventure. Not to mention it's something we'd want to get done anyway before we get back to Wrath. Since I believe it is, however this ends, is theoretically supposed to wrap back around into the main Wrath campaign. Having a real easy time with these enemies. Though I suppose that's just as well. These guys are ability point drainers. If they did start landing hits, it would get real messy real quick. I think we're also starting to get the idea that these bubbly shadow spots on the floor, whenever we walk over one, enemies spring up out of them.
This will be quick.
Okay, well nothing came out of that one. What about this one? Huh. Okay, maybe they don't trigger if we're in turn-based mode. Let me go ahead and knock this guy out real quick. We'll try outside of combat. Oh, right. Crystal Claws. Forgot I had those. Fair enough. And no enemies out of the shadow puddles, so I guess I was wrong there. Or we broke them. Either way, we push on. Yeah, as far as the, ice powers go, I just kind of stopped planning around those. Once I realized I could avoid the negative effects by just not spending the points they were giving us. Leave me be! No! Oh, anything but this. My lord, I beg you, have mercy! Okay, so that's Ulob. That means the other guy must have been our unfortunate bell ringer.
Let me handle them.
Die!
Nice. The fetchling looks at you with surprise and fear. His blonde hair is disheveled and his clothes are rumpled. Thank you. You arrived just in time. I thought you hide indoors from the shadows. Why did they attack you here? The shades flew in when I ran in, and I couldn't close the door in time. Though they are incorporeal, they can't get in through the walls. My name is Ulob. I saw you at the chapel when the shadows first appeared. You're not from around here, are you? Why are you here? We came here looking for a demonic artifact. It's very powerful and very dangerous. We were hoping that you might help us find it. I'll be glad to help if I can. You saved my life, after all. Glad to hear it. Why don't you start by telling me more about who you are? Ulob? Yes, Ulob. I'm just a local. My ancestors came here more than 100 years ago, before Tog Takar settled here. Yeah, your elder told us about that. I'd love to hear your take on what's going on around here, though. Ulob shrugs. All sorts of things. Mostly we just live. We take care of the chapel, we give shelter to travelers. Sometimes we have weddings. The shadows and kidnappings, well, they're just part of life here. We've gotten used to it after 100 years. You speak so calmly. Surely you're not happy with the state of affairs here. Or do the kidnapped people return? No, no one returns. But the outside world here is more dangerous and can take many more lives. The Velstrak Tag Takar takes payment for protecting the village from the outer darkness. Paid in living souls. Ulob clenches his fist. Including my brother. One day I will find Itham and bring him home. Your brother? What happened to him? Nothing unusual for this village. A few months ago he couldn't hide when the shadows came. That's all. But Itham is still alive. I know it. I feel it. What can you tell us about this Tag Takar? I saw his arrogant silhouette. It appeared whenever I was ready to lie down and die, broken by grief and pain. Ulob shakes his head, trying to shake off the dark memories. If only I knew something about him. Velstraks are the perfect embodiment of the mad god they worship. Torment is their food. The torment of others as well as their own. Tag Takar is no exception. Food, you say? Interesting. He's probably sick of the usual torments. I bet a monster like this Velstrak could imagine all sorts of twisted possibilities for new torture methods using the shard. The Elder mentioned you've been down in Tagtakar's dungeon. I assume looking for your brother? Yes. I managed to convince the bell ringer to let me into the dungeons a couple of times. I wanted to find my brother, but the labyrinths of torture chambers are too large. I returned time and again. That's why the others don't like me. They think my trips will attract more shadows to the village. I mean, you did just get the bell ringer killed, so, you know... Well, the artifact we seek, we think it might be down there. It's a magic shard of crystal. Looks like a piece of ice. There's no treasure like that in the village. All of the most valuable things belong to Tagtakar. The Velstrak keeps magical items and other relics in his trophy room. Ulob carefully examines your squad. I can take you to the dungeons. I have studied them well in recent months. In return, I ask only one thing. Help me find my brother. I think we can do that. As long as you help us with our goal, we'll help you with yours. Thank you. We should talk to the bell ringer. Only he can open a safe path to the dungeons. Oh, so that wasn't the guy we just saw get et? Alright, fair enough. Okay, well, I think that actually brings us to a good place to call it. I've got to say, you know, aside from just the general lighting issues, I'm not a huge fan of overly dark level layouts like this. I do think we're off to a promising start on this particular chapter or subquest of the overarching narrative. I am intrigued. I've never really been to the Shadow Plane. I don't know exactly what to expect. And I don't think we ever really did much with Zon Kuthon back in the original Kingmaker or Wrath campaign, so this will all be kind of new to me. Like even Jaethal back in Kingmaker, she did not worship Zon Kuthon. She worshipped Urgathoa. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, and we will pick up here next time. We've still got a lot of unknowns, but we'll see if we can perhaps shed some light. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.